Hi, my name is Chuck Hulse. I'm a resident of South Hero. I'm a Master Naturalist and I serve on the board of the South Hero Land Trust. I'd like to welcome you to the Landon Community Trail, one of the gems of natural areas that we have in South Hero. And today we're going to be going on a virtual wildflower tour looking at some of the spring wildflowers which have come into bloom. So I hope you enjoy the walk. We're going to focus mostly on just identifying the plants that are out there, and there'll be some other resources which we'll put towards the end of the video which will help you to further enjoy the wildflowers. So let's go.
This flower is sharp-leaved hepatica. There are two hepatica found in Vermont, the sharp-leaved and the round-leaved. They're given their names by the characteristic curve or point on the end of the leaves. Beautiful white flowers, delicate white flowers, which can be either purple or blue or pink or white. And the way I describe it is actually it's kind of like eye color in humans, so it's a genetic trait. So that is sharp-leaved hepatica. One of the first wildflowers that you'll encounter on the trail is blue cohosh. It's known for its little dainty little flowers that have purple petals and yellow inner parts. The leaves on the plant are come in 3 leaflets and are palm-shaped. And while it's called blue cohosh, it is not actually in the cohosh family, and it's sometimes confused with meadow rue, which we'll see in a little bit. This wildflower is early meadow rue. Early meadow rue is interesting in the sense that there are male and female plants. You can tell the male plants because they have these little yellowed dangling parts, which is where the pollen forms. And in a second I will try to find a female meadow rue. This flower right here is one of the 2 bellworts which we have. So there is sessile bellwort, which this is, and then there is large flower bellwort, which we'll see in a little bit. But the difference is, on this one, the flowers dangle down from the stem, and then we'll see with the other one that the flowers actually come out through the middle of the leaves. So this is sessile bellwort. This is small flowered buttercup. As you can see, the flower on that is is smaller than my fingernail. And one of the interesting things about it is if you look at the bottom leaves, they are kidney shaped, and then the upper leaves are kind of more lanceolate. So, small flowered buttercup. This wildflower is white trillium. It's one of the 4 trillium that are found in Vermont. There's white trillium, red trillium, nodding trillium, and painted trillium. We only have red and white trillium here in South Hero. It has the 3 large broad leaves, 3 green sepals, as they're called, 3 white petals with yellow inner parts. Towards the end of the season, it'll develop a kind of pinkish tone to it, and sometimes people confuse it with painted trillium. But once you've seen a painted trillium, you'll know the difference between the 2. This is Trout Lily, another one of the quintessential spring ephemerals. It gets its name from the pattern on its leaves, which is supposed to resemble the pattern on a trout. Another name for it is dog-toothed violet, but it's not a member of the violet family. And the dog tooth comes from the fact that the bulb actually looks like the canine tooth of a dog. Trout lilies grow in huge clusters. They take 7 years to gain enough strength to flower. So when you see trout lilies all over or the leaves of the trout lilies all over the forest floor, only approximately 10% of them will actually flower. And the colonies can actually be hundreds of years old. This is large flower bellwort. There are 2 bellworts in these woods. The first is sessile bellwort. The second is large flower bellwort. And on large flower bellwort, you can see that the flower actually comes, or the flower actually comes through the middle of the leaf, where in sessile bellwort it comes off the stem by itself. So, large flower bellwort. This flower is jack in the pulpit, and if we do this, there's the jack in the pulpit. In the first year, the plants usually just send up one leaflet. The second year, when they've gained a little bit more strength, they put up 2 leaves, and then they usually start producing the classic jack in the pulpit flowers. Interestingly, this is both a male and female flower, but depending upon environmental conditions, it will either turn into a male flower or turn into a female flower, and we won't know if it's a female flower till the end when it produces berries. And next year, depending upon the conditions, it could change, and if it was a male this year, it could become a female next year. So an interesting life cycle. That's jack in the pulpit. This is red trillium, also known as wake robin or stinking Benjamin. The color of the petals is that livery colored red. It's got the 3 green sepals and the 3 large leaves. It's one of the 4 trillium found in Vermont, but only the white and red trillium are found here in South Hero. Just to show how quickly spring is already going by, this is the leaf of Bloodroot, and here's the little seed pod. And walking around the entire trail, I could not find a single Bloodroot that was still in flower. So while we waited and waited and waited for spring, it's moving by pretty quickly. So with that, I'd like to say that's the last of the wildflowers that we're going to talk about. In 2 weeks or so, maybe we'll take another trip out into the Landon Trail and see what has bloomed since, just as a teaser. I know there's about 3 or 4 wildflowers that are going to bloom in the next week or so. And despite the hundreds of times that I've walked around Landon Farm, I actually found a wildflower that I've never seen here before. And as far as I know, it's never been reported in South Hero. So I'm going to say stay tuned for that. If you would like further information about the wildflowers in Vermont in general, you can check out Newcomb's Guide to Wildflower Identification. There's the New England Wildflower Guide. You can download my e-book on the wildflowers of the Landon Community Trail. And if you have any questions, you can always get in touch with me, or you can get in touch with the South Hero Land Trust at southherolandtrust.org for further information. You can check out information on other places to go hiking and other places that you might see wildflowers. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to the next virtual wildflower walk.